Hi guys, this is Lada from astrolada.com here with your weekly horoscope for the 10th till the 17th of February 2019. I'm shooting from my home where we're all under quarantine. Like we're absolutely all of us are sick and I don't know how long I can talk. Hopefully I'll be able to make all the in-depth weekly horoscopes, but my throat is not so well, so I'll try to be a bit short, and maybe some of you prefer that. So let's see what the week is holding ahead. It's starting to get interesting, actually. Things are starting to slow down a little bit. Why is that? Because a lot of planets are going to be moving into feminine signs. For some time over the last few weeks, we had most of the planets in masculine signs, where Jupiter is, the sun was there. There was a new moon, the moon was there. Mars is in a masculine sign. Venus was still recently, Mercury. But both Mercury and Mars are changing this week already into feminine signs. Only the sun is there, but on Sunday, or for some people on Monday, the sun also moves into a feminine sign. So by the end of the week, already from Thursday, you're going to see a considerable slowing down of energy. You're going to feel definitely that things are calming down. You're going to feel that, more receptive, reflective mood. Women and more people with more feminine qualities will start feeling more natural, and especially people that are from the female signs. The female signs are the earth or water signs. If you have sun, moon, or ascendant on earth or water signs, you're going to start feeling in your own water, so they say, especially when the moon also moves from the end of the week into Pisces, into another water sign. So the fire and air signs have their time. I'm all fire and air, and when all planets are in fire and air, like it was till recently, I'm on fire. Ideas, things are happening. I get excited, I guess everyone, but for people who are not used to this energy, they might feel overwhelmed. They might feel even resistant to that energy. But things are starting to calm down. Mars on Thursday is moving into Taurus. So imagine it was in Aries. Mars loves being there, but it's all about go, 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 and pushing yourself. And maybe you were pushing for the last month and a half almost yourself. Your own inner voice was like pushing you to do things, to make something happen, making you even angry and frustrated at times. Or maybe there were others from outside that were imposing on you deadlines, or to hurry, or to rush, to go getting. And there was a lot of posts on Facebook that I was seeing and reading. While you're sleeping, others are achieving your dreams. So go, don't grasp the opportunity. That's very Mars and Aries. It feels like this: if I don't do it now, it will never happen. I have to do it now. So hopefully Mars and Aries gave this impetus to many of you. Often Mars and Aries can generate new ideas, can generate also the drive to do those new ideas and to start them. So you have till Thursday to initiate them, especially before Mars leaves into Taurus. It joins Uranus on the 13th, basically. On the 13th, on the 12th, 13th, 14th, you're going to feel the Mars conjunct Uranus energy, which happens once every 2.5 years, guys. So Mars is going to leave a fire sign with a bang. It's like it's as if it's been on this racing track, and on those computer games that you have, where sometimes you can pass through something and you can accelerate further. And so basically you're on this racing track when Mars is in Aries, and now just before the finale, there is like a speeding. It's Mars is fast, Uranus is even faster. So there'll be a resonation of speeding things, and then all of a sudden slowing down and stopping. It's gonna be like, and so it's gonna be very dynamic till Thursday, Friday, the first part of the week, with Mars next to Uranus. A lot of things unexpectedly would happen out of the blue. A lot of surprises will be happening around us that will have to, and Mars with Uranus will help us react in more unique, unusual ways to surprises. To even if someone is throwing a wrench at us, it's whatever, you'll be able to dodge it. You have fast, alert, quick reactions as well. But it's also people feel more frustrated, more aggravated when Mars is with Uranus. People are willing to take risks, to take actions that a bit too, because Mars is actions and Uranus is, I'll do what I want, I don't care, I'll throw the baby out with the water, as they call it, or it's my will, it's my way, or the highway. A lot of us might feel this way. It's like, I'm gonna do it my way, and I don't care. And this is a combination for forging new paths where there are none. So this gives you the extra push and energy, which might be even triggered by anger and frustration, to make a path or a breakthrough there where there was none. So use it, especially initiative people that were a bit stagnant. They can use this Uranus Mars energy to have some breakthrough. It's almost like the last push, and they're gonna make it, in regards to something. And then Mars, the moment it goes into Taurus, things will slow down a lot. We're not gonna have this drive to start new things collectively, but we'll be much more willing to maintain and work and use our actions to build upon some new ideas or new actions that we started before, to implement them lastingly, to be more practical and cautious with our actions. But before we do that, we throw all caution out of the air, out of the window. And let me see, not everyone will feel the Mars Uranus. Just some of you will be very strongly affected. And it's a combination for accidents. Be careful if you're operating machinery, if you're driving, for accidents of any technological things, electronical problems can happen. So be careful. Or even you can fight with someone verbally, physically, or you can find that someone is very hot-headed around you. Say if Mars and Uranus activate your 7th house, or activate with an oppositional planet of yours, you can find that someone else is being this kind of restless, willful, I'll do what I want action that is creating surprises and stresses around you, and for you to know how or if it will personally affect you. And by the way, again, as I said, it's great if you're trying to find a new way to do something or to solve a problem. Mars is a problem solver. Uranus is something unique, something that you've never done before. So you're fine now this week till Friday. Try something new. Try a new solution, maybe try new technology of some sort of solution that can help you, and new action, new path of action that you've never done before. You have more successes, especially if Uranus and Mars is activating something in your horoscope or is making good aspects, like a sextile trine. And let me show you quickly how you can see that, because not everyone will be affected. But here it is. You can go to my, here it is, Mars conjunction Uranus on the 13th, but you feel it 2-3 days before, 2-3 days after. Extreme enthusiasm, that's the good thing. Fast reactions, desire to take risks. This is from my calendar, 2019. It's 30% off, guys. Those of you who want to know day by day what's happening in the year, you can purchase it. But negative is extreme impulsiveness, taking dangerous risks, rude and uncontrolled behavior, sudden changes in your activity. Great time for new experiences, though. And because it's around the time of Thanksgiving, I would advise you guys with this combination to plan something a bit more exciting for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving. For 14th of February, it's Saint whatever, the day of love. You see, I'm sick, so my mind is slow. So if you're going on dates, do something surprising for your partner, and something more kinky and more sexual, because Mars with Uranus can make us do kinky stuff, experiment sexually. It's a combination for one night stand as well. So those of you who are single, I'm not saying go and have a one night stand, but some exciting, explosive sexual thing can happen, especially with some surprising Mars rules males. Surprising encounter with an exciting, youthful person can happen during Uranus-Mars combinations. And especially if it personally affects your horoscope, how do you see that? Go to astrolada.com. And if you don't have an account already, you can create one here. It says that you can, it says register or log in. I've registered already. Create your account, and you can see and I've put the details of my son, myself, and my daughter. So you'll get to something like that. You see for free for 1 week. So if you happen to have Uranus or a Mars transit happening in your horoscope, and the Mars transits are all indicated, here is the legend in red, while the Uranus transits are all indicated in dark blue. Well, my son this week is going to have definitely Mars transits. He's having them now. That's why he's a sick puppy, but he's going to have it, especially when it's happening around the 13th, 14th here, he has this Mars trine Saturn. So the Uranus conjunction Mars will affect him positively because the trine and sextiles are positive aspects. So he would feel more the positive influences of that, like renewed vitality, exciting energy, new ways to do things. You know, if he was grown up, he can use it quite productively. Curious, I can check Mila. We can quick change here. Come on then. It's updating. And if you see that you're going to have Uranus transit, no one of them has Uranus, but there you go. She has Mars transit as well. On the 13th, it continues around those days. Oh, I'll even look from the 1st till the, sorry, not the 1st, from the 8th, 9th till the whole week ahead. So she's going to have a positive Mars transit as well, no Uranus transits. The Uranus is in blue, so she has none. So she's going to have a positive one. So she will get the positive influence that I enumerated of the Uranus conjunction Mars. But if you happen to have, like here, look, she has conjunction of the 5th house. Conjunctions can go bad or good. You have to take into consideration both influences. So definitely very excitable for her. And going back to, like, you have to be a bit more cautious, you know. But with the positive influences, you see brave actions, desire for freedom, and you can forge a freedom, win some battle, have a breakthrough, have new experiences, you know. With the negative influences, if Uranus or Mars by transit, if you have red or blue transits basically happening, affecting something for you over the next 1 week, they can be some of those negative influences that you see on the screen here. And let me see quickly. After that, Mars goes into Taurus. And as I said, this is time, and it's going to stay there till the end of April, guys. Sorry, till the end of March. So we have for a month and a half that Mars goes into Taurus. And collectively for everyone, this is about maintaining, supporting activities started from before, putting energy and efforts into practical and material activities. So Mars is how we activate our behaviors, our actions. What will motivate us to act? Well, collectively, money, resources, finances, physical, you know, something to do with earth, with gardening, with farming, building something solid and tangible. So this will be good the moment Mars enters into Taurus for such kind of, you know, activities, much more. And but you know, but it's not about taking initiatives. Mars in Taurus loses its initiatives, and you know, after the 14th, 15th Mars, after the conjunction with Uranus passes away, you will become way less daring and risk prone. So we'll be very cautious, much more cautious in our activities. First, we'll throw all caution to the wind, and then towards the end of this week, we'll be like, okay, I did my crazy now, so I can calm down. And now I'm cautious and I'm responsible, and we can sustain our actions. Will be, with our actions, we can sustain our efforts for prolonged periods of time. But Taurus people overall will start feeling much more energized than others, because Taurus, whether Taurus Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, for a month and a half, Mars will be transiting your sign, guys, which means that you can initiate, you can, you know, specifically for you, it's about new beginnings, it's about starting things, it's about especially focus on practical material matters. And so yes, towards the end of the week, the energy slows down and becomes smoother, gentler in the gentle signs, in the feminine signs, rather than that crazy masculine energy. And sorry about that. We're going to go through each of these 12 signs, how will Mars, where you can have some productive actions, practical actions where you can fix problems over the next 1.5 months. And we're also going to go over Mercury becoming visible. Maybe you didn't see on the calendar for 2019, I didn't share, but it shows there that Mercury in that week is becoming visible. And it's going to be visible only for 2 weeks. And after that, it becomes visible for 2 months till May. So this fantastic time for everyone ruled by Mercury for the next 2 weeks to initiate things, to feel, to manifest things. So these are writers, these are speakers, these are people in media, these are communicators, these are salespeople, these are marketing people, these are people that work in business administration, in anything to do with communication, with training. So you can start new beginnings connected to this. When Mercury becomes visible, it's about the ability to initiate those new beginnings. But within 2 weeks after that, Mercury will go retrograde. Which means that you will start and you initiate certain things now, and it's good to do it, but you have to go back and fix something from maybe a week or two after that. When Mercury becomes retrograde, most of March basically it will be retrograde, so you have to go and fix something, or put extra effort and edit it and put final touches and dig deeper. But this week is fantastic to initiate, whether you want to do a new website, whether you want to do a new blog, a new newsletter, Mercury, some new side of your business. Mercury rules all those things, and contact and communications and social contacts with people. Do that, even though Mercury is becoming visible in the sign of Pisces, where it's weakened, and sometimes we can miss details, we can miss facts, we can because Mercury wants, its exaltation is in Virgo, that's very particular about facts, while in Pisces it's weak, which means that it doesn't care what the facts are. So this is fantastic time for marketeers, for salespeople, because Mercury naturally rules all business and sales. But when it's in Pisces and is becoming visible, they will be able to make miracles almost happen for a couple of weeks now in regards to what is Pisces: to spin an illusion, to present something in beautiful light. Pisces is also to be able to influence subtly the subconscious of others with your words, Mercury. So people that are in such careers that are in the subconscious influencing of others subtly with their words or with imagery, that's what marketers are, advertising people as well. So marketing campaigns and stuff like that can give very good results when Mercury is becoming visible in Pisces. Or people that are using words to influence the feelings of others, poets, writers, someone that wants to use words to impact another emotionally or to manipulate another emotionally, to subtly, directors of movies, directors of something creative, imaginative. You can launch the creation of a computer game. Pisces rules other worlds, and Mercury is to program, to organize, to plan, so you can plan some parties or things that are connected to creating some otherworldly illusion, to marketing campaigns, to something to do with foreign countries. You can even launch blogs or some campaign or some business endeavor connected to some mystical, mysterious, or traveling, anything connected to traveling, to mysticism, to, Pisces rules other worlds, spiritual knowledge. And if you want something about scamming others, you'll be kind of, it's good time for that, whatever your goals are, and then Mercury will join Pisces and square Jupiter, so scamming galore, it can unlock such and confusing others galore. But hopefully you use this influence to spin a web of beautiful words and something like imaginative. Pisces rules the imagination. Pisces rules psychological influence as well. So film directors and stuff, this can be good for. So start such things, marketing, newsletters, campaigns and stuff like that, which are focused towards spirituality or towards something creative or towards psychology or towards, mystery or advertising of something. But don't forget that Mercury, when it goes in Pisces, becomes prone to exaggeration, to twisting of facts, becomes prone to, not necessarily malefically, more it's like omitting the facts or exaggerating, or facts are irrelevant, and or to just hear something but present it in a different light, more beautifully, spin a tale, spin this beautiful glamorous image of something, or that is prone to make mistakes. So if you're especially in some kind of business that's connected to numbers, that's connected to to being very precise. Mercury in Pisces tends to round things, or to forget, or to omit things, or to hear something wrong. Maybe some kind of like a gossip can start. Now it's much more likely that can take gigantic proportions because Mercury is becoming visible. So some gossip that becomes viral, or something that actually, some gossip that gets twisted and gets out of control in some way. And during the retrograde period will have to be corrected. But also it can be about something becoming viral on advertising, on social media, on visual imagery and media of some sort. Pisces is that as well. Symbols, signs, affecting the subconscious. But again, as I said, if you're in very kind of an analytical environment, there can be mistakes, but still good for business things, launching stuff, and we'll see when Mercury becomes visible for 2 weeks, you can manifest in a bit easier and some new beginning in the houses that Mercury rules in your horoscope. So now let's go through the 12 houses and see. And I don't think there's other important aspects. Venus sextile Neptune towards the end of the week. It's a gentle one, but Venus is much closer. It's Saturn influence. So there'll be some reevaluation of relationships that comes towards the end of the week. And the end of the week, basically, and the start of the week after that, around the 16, 17, will be about more realistic, talking serious things about relationships, assessing, maybe even removing certain idealizations, and in regards to someone like a female in your life, or in regards to some important relationship. We'll speak about that another time, next week probably. But let's look how Mars, so this week is not so, well, just the Mars conjunction Uranus. I told you how to see if it's going to affect you. It's kind of, the week starts like on the Hulk, it's on steroids with Mars and Aries conjunct Uranus, and then it goes like phew. It's like ooh, and then goes, Mars goes into Taurus and slows down, and our actions become much more calm and practical and non-risk prone. So for Aries, Mars is moving out of their sign, and then please check your sun, moon, and ascendant. So it's gonna give it, things gonna come down for you, particularly Aries. It's gonna become, maybe you felt like you're on steroids, maybe you felt more stressed and angry, but also stimulated. It was your Mars return Aries, what kind of Mars going over your sign, sorry. And that will happen again in 2.5 years. So Mars hopefully charged you up with new ideas and manifested for you. That definitely was the case for me. But it could have also given you some viral colds and stuff, because the negative side of Mars is this frustration and those things. But Mars is moving till the end of March into Taurus for you, Aries, into your second house. So it's going to be here. Oh, writing. So it's entering your field of finances. So it will be prone to spending, first of all, more people. But, it's making good. It's going to be making for a month and a half trines to Saturn, to Pluto. So to be honest, even if there are some sextiles to Neptune, even if there are some expenses, I think it will be for good, because its expenses might be connected to something that you invest in your career or in your reputation, for some goal of yours, which actually is, even though there might be extra expenses that you do, it's for some good reason that you're going to do it, let's say. And you're going to put more efforts and energy into going after material goals, or putting energy into creating resources of some sort, of finances or money. Basically, you'll be motivated into action by practical, material, financial actions. When Mars is in the second house, the food we put in our body, it can be, we might be drawn to more hot and spicy foods as well. Be careful, because this is the throat. It can also affect the throat sometimes, because Mars is like this aggressive force. It can be, but definitely your energy. And for you, Aries is so important when Mars goes. This is the planet that rules you. Wherever it goes, you focus there. So you behave more Taurian-like. Actually, in the last month, when Mars was in your sign, you were like Aries on steroids. Now you become much, you slow down, you start consolidating, becoming more, becoming more cautious in your actions, trying to protect and fix material problems, financial problems, or assets or something that you possess, putting a lot of energy into such things. But again, they might be more expensive. If you're Taurus, Mars is entering your sign. So till April, for a month and a half, from Thursday onwards, you're gonna get the green light to basically initiate and start new things. Maybe not immediately. You have to see when Mars will transit your sun exactly. If you're a Taurus sun, or your ascendant, if you're Taurus ascendant, or moon, if you're Taurus moon, and you can do that by going to the free birth chart calculator that I gave you. And you have free a week, but see when there will be Mars transits for you. Will there be one next week? Or maybe the week after, if you unlock for more months, then you'll know exactly when Mars is active for you. But you have to be careful around the time for some accidents, for being more easily frustrated and angry, definitely. And actually, even Mars in Taurus can be passive aggressive and implode that anger. And it's also for some inflammatory conditions that can happen, out of stress. So it's very good if you do some kind of grounding and take physical activities that are focused, that are more grounding, not too fast, but maybe like walking, like gardening, like grounding yourself around nature, walks in nature, or you can, but it's good time to do some physical activity, to start on some physical workout. It's good time to start some projects that are connected to building something, to creating something, practical material as well. So you become initiative Taurus. You'll feel that the second part of February, and you'll feel that some of you, in March, depending when Mars will transit over you. But that's it's a blessing and a curse depending how you use the Mars energy, because it's explosive, it can be angry energy, but you can channel it. For example, when I had Mars transiting over my sun now in Aries, I was getting frustrated left and right, so angry, but this immediately fired me with how I want to change my life, and this gave me ideas for how to change the whole business and everything in our life, and it came out of frustration, because it's just I barely have time for anything. So even if you feel like you're being challenged, know that the ultimate reason is to turn this anger into gold. All right, if you are and also Mars rules your seventh house. When it enters into your sign for a month and a half, Taurus, you're gonna feel, and this is not for next week so much a prediction, this is honestly a prediction for a month and a half for you, that there'll be a lot of strong people coming up to you. Maybe like some collaborations can happen, but people kind of, your initiative, but somehow also others, because Mars rules others, force you into action, push you into action, or in some way they influence you to take actions, and might be in a positive or in a negative way. But you'll be more initiative. Mars is making lots of good aspects from there to your ninth house, so you'll be initiative in regards to taking actions that will influence your it might be positive actions in regards to something to do with traveling, something to do with higher education, something to do with fulfilling your vision for the future. All right, and if you're Gemini, Mars is entering your 12th house, Gemini. So it's kind of like your drive for a month and a half will maybe become a bit weaker, but don't forget that Mercury is visible for you guys, and Mercury is visible in your 10th house, and it's going to be visible and going to stay there the whole March. So you can be very active and you can manifest in your career strongly, Gemini, starting from this week, especially if your career is connected to something mercurial, like writing, like speaking, like media, like selling, like traveling, communications. But you have an opportunity to make an impact, and you have an opportunity to start something new in regards to your career. And then 2 weeks from now, after the 13th, so from the beginning of March, your planet becomes invisible again. So get those things starting now, while Mars will be in your 12th house, though. So you might feel like you're acting a bit more secretively, almost till April. You might feel that some actions that you have to do something in private and secret, and that and in worst case scenario, but because Mars is making good aspects, I don't think you'll be harmed by invisible enemies in this case. Even if you are, something will come to the surface that will reveal some secrets to the other planet. Saturn and Pluto and Mars will trine towards March or in the ninth house, but it will reveal some secrets that are in some way can liberate you, because Mars in the 12th house. And also you can take actions for a month and a half towards releasing something. You can be more proactive in regards to let go of something, to actions in regards to, for example, to get rid of stuff. You can become proactive. And Mars 12th house is also to give, either to release, to give, to let go, to deconstruct something. You might be, for example, doing something that you disassemble things into pieces. Your action into dissolving something into this world, or you might be helping someone. With Mars transiting the 12th house, often for a month and a half, at some period, you might be asked to help someone with a charity, or whether just give some focused and energy towards some kind of cause, or helping someone in a practical way, because Mars is in Taurus. If you don't do that, what tends to happen when Mars transits the 12th house Taurus is that we tend to, the universe has to force us to give some energy or efforts or time, actions, Mars, or they'll go to the waste, they'll be dispersed. So do it consciously, go and help someone a bit more, then it will be good. It's also very good time if you want to travel to a foreign country, especially to do something there. So your actions will have a much stronger impact and noticeability for a month and a half if you are interacting with something international organization, or if you're interacting with foreigners, or if you go to a foreign place, there your actions will have much more of an impact. Plus, you can feel much more motivated to do some research, some investigation. Mars in the 12th house gives us a drive for that. And also to put actions into spiritual activities. So that can be actions you can feel much more motivated for some time, Geminis, to do some practical spiritual exercises, or because Mars is the soldier. The soldier can do a lot of focused actions. And just something behind the scenes that you might be preparing, intense work. Otherwise, you might just feel like that a lot of your energy till April and your efforts, they get dissipated, or that the ability to fight and to win, it's kind of weakened for you. And maybe the competitiveness dissolves when Mars is in the 12th house. It definitely does. Or if there is something that bugs you and stresses you, which is what Mars is, it's coming from your subconscious, maybe angry dreams, maybe angry subconscious dreams that can appear, or that you're kind of becoming passive aggressive and not sharing exactly how you feel, and you're stifling it inside, and it's kind of ruffling your sleep. Or you can, even in the most mundane things, is you can just be more restless in sleep, or something can disrupt your sleep a little bit. Or you can be more active in your sleep, basically. And in foreign countries, Cancers, Mars from Thursday is moving into 11th house, and that is means that till April, for a month and a half, you're going to be much more active socially. And actually, you can attract more ambitious or more driven, or friends or acquaintances around you. You can meet more youthful people, Mars-like, and you can be more adventurous as well in regards to your friendships, or more active. You can go and do something actively at some point with your friends when Mars enters your 11th house. Run a marathon, or join some group and do some active, like a group or society. 11th house rules groups and society, people's connected by like-minded ideals, where you might go and plant trees, for example, because it's Taurus. So you might go and join a group or something that does something physical or gathers their energy together and focuses it on some kind of a material goal, Taurus, or some kind of whatever it is, and also it's good. A person becomes much more motivated and driven for financial gains because the 11th house is that. So you're gonna feel that influence, Cancers. A person becomes much more driven to go after their goals. The 11th house is goals, especially socio-economic goals of some sort. You can feel much more motivated to go after new contacts and networks, and to network and to create basically some good. And because Mars will be making trines in March to Saturn, to Uranus, sorry, to Pluto here, in your 7th house, definitely some acquaintances and activities with acquaintances or in social groups can even lead to some business opportunities, some agreement or contract, or can lead to interesting stabilizing or development in your personal relationships, or such kind of stuff can happen to you. But also be careful that you don't fight with friends when Mars transits the 11th house. So it tend to be, even though Mars is making lots of good aspects, but still I have to warn you that people are more susceptible to fight a bit about their ideologies, about their with groups and like-minded people, or to become more competitive with such. Also, some male friend can appear in your life, Cancer. That's important, or someone with very strong masculine energy. Like a driven or ambitious person of some sort, that can help you as well. Can even introduce you to a relationship or some contacts as well. All right, if you're Leo, oh, sorry. If you're Leo, Mars is moving from your 9th house to your 10th house. So actually, it's going to be a very strong period for Leo for a month and a half to to renew their career in some way. For a month and a half to take action. You might get very busy with some career project, with some career activity of some sort. And not only that, but from the 10th house, Mars will be making trines in March to your 6th house, to planets there, to Saturn and Pluto, which indicates that, again, 6th house is support, duties, responsibilities. So your own initiatives in your career, or maybe a boss figure that's more driven, can help stabilize your career in some way, or bring new projects, or help you with some project of some sort. So it's going to be quite a good time, Leos, for a month and a half when it comes to material artha, to material initiatives. Mars likes being in the 10th house. I mean, it takes initiatives, it goes after goals, it's ambitious, it's driven. But of course, Mars affects in a difficult aspect the sign Leo. So definitely when you see Mars transits over the next month and a half for you, if you go to the free 1-week transits calculator, if you see any transit for a month and a half, oh, it's free only for a week, but if you see for a month ahead Mars transits, you're going to feel stressed, because but this stress will push you towards renewal, because Mars is about to renew, to start something new, to take initiative and action in regards to your career and your reputation and your social status. And you might feel that a stressful situation leads you to that, some kind of having to fix something, some crisis, something's not going well. But because of that and the extra efforts, Mars's efforts that you have to put, you can improve your reputation into the eyes of bosses, or you can even have more like people that are more pushy and bossy around you, because the 10th house is authority figures, bosses, parents. So your parents can be like, go, 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 or kind of pressing your buttons and irritating you, or some bosses or authority figures above you that are more demanding or that are more hurtful. Mars has a sting there that is more pushy, and might be even in passive aggressive way because Mars is in Taurus. But they're pushing you, so you can get ambitious. So you can get ambitious about your worldly actions, the 10th house, so it can motivate you, even if something breaks down, because Mars can indicate whatever transits something breaking down in regards to your career, in regards to your work, in regards to relationships with authorities or parents. It's only because you need to fix it, because Mars wants to fix and to make it better and to renew your reputation in the eyes of others. And also it can be a good time to go after jobs, job hunting. Mars gives initiative of some sort as well in regards to career. And to initiate new projects if you're already working, or if you're in some career that is Mars-like, which is competitive business, which is engineering, which is to do with tools, which is to do with fire of some sort, which is to do with physical activity or sports or competitive businesses of any sort, you can have a very productive. But anyway, Mars in the 10th house can make you very productive if you focus it towards career. If not, you can be fighting with authorities, with institutions, with parents. You might be just, and they can become like a pebble in your shoe. If you're Virgo, Mars, sorry, Mars is going into your, is moving from your 8th into your 9th house. So for a month and a half, mostly second part of February and the whole March, you can become very proactive, and some important developments can happen in regards to traveling to foreign countries, to higher education. You can become proactive, for example, to start studying something else, to expand your qualifications, and to pursue some. It can be a great time for traveling, for example. It's funny enough that my sister-in-law is Virgo rising in Mars entering her 9th house. She's going on a Euro trip to Italy. And that's very auspicious, especially because Mars is making good aspects in March. So if you want to travel somewhere, do it. It will be quite a dynamic travel. And unless Mars is doing a lot of hard aspects to your own personal charts, then you can encounter some stressful situations and fights while traveling abroad, or like too dynamic energy. But usually, because Mars is quite well this year in Taurus because of the good aspects it's making from there, I think it will be quite good for any endeavors for your Virgos for the next month and a half, with high education, with foreign travels, with communicating with people in foreign places, or higher and different social background than you, which is also the 9th house. And it can be good, like, for example, to tackle on coaching, especially 9th house is to be coached and to expand your vision and understanding of the world, but especially by more driven, action-oriented coaches. So if it's like you can read such books, so you can go and study with such, or take courses or videos of someone that is all about action, how to go after material goals, how to manifest material Taurus things in your life, and to go after energy. You can deprogram your mind with such matters. Sorry about that. Mercury is becoming visible for you, Virgo, and Mercury rules you. So you're going to feel 2 weeks that you can manifest more for the next 2 weeks, starting from the middle of this week. And especially you can manifest more when it comes to, because Mercury is becoming visible in your 7th house in Pisces, in regards to collaborating with others. You can manifest more in regards to some mutual project, in regards to relationships. You can even manifest some youthful person into your life now, some quite mercurial person, that the new person can appear, that is or a relationship can start with a personal or business or intimate with someone that is quite mercurial in nature, chatty, witty, communicative of some sort, or it's about like some business collaboration, for example, or more youthful person. And then when Mercury goes retrograde in March, this relationship might have to be re-examined or something, or something new can be brought up for already existing relationships currently, like a new phase starting, like a new developments there, and then it will have to be reworked, like whether it's a business agreement, a contract, or personal relationships. Something new will be born and happening, or it can be a good time to launch some mutual business now, with Mercury becoming visible in your 7th house, to launch some mutual collaboration with another person, or to start something new with your partner, maybe your partner with a marriage, whatever, will be starting something new. And then in March, it has to be redone, or, when Mercury goes retrograde there. For Libras, Mars is moving from your 8th house into your 9th house. Bullshit, sorry. Libras, Mars is moving from your 7th house into your 8th house. And it's, sorry about that. And when Mars is moving into the 8th house, it's not, it stops to oppose you, at least, so you're not gonna feel, your partners are not gonna be so stressed. And ask my husband, he's Libra rising, and while Mars was in the 7th house, I was on fire. I was like coming up with new ideas, but I was a pain in the ass. I was irritable. I'll be stroppy and angry. And but all this excitability that was happening, well, now Mars will move from your 7th house, so your partners become a bit easier to deal with, but it goes into your 8th house, which can be good for some sex. That's one thing. Maybe your sex life a little bit, Mars can make it more dynamic. But also it can sometimes create some kind of hidden power struggles underneath when Mars is in the 8th house. But this is the natural house of Mars. So till April, guys, this is a very, sorry, this is a possibility to unblock something. And because the 8th house is the house of transformation, sudden transformations. And when Mars goes there, Mars brings a lot of energy and dynamic and speed. So you can unlock something, spin something around very quickly. And it can even happen sometimes by crisis, but it's like a breakthrough. When Mars transits the 8th house, you are willing, changes happen more easily, sudden, but sometimes those changes are very unexpected. And some breakthrough can happen. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. It's like Libra, why am I? It feels like, I believe in synchronicity, and since I started talking about Libra, it's about like I've been coughing in this block, so something will be unblocking there. I'm thinking something will be unblocking. It might feel stressful and irritating, but Mars will help move that lump, whatever it is, and 8th house is the house of healings. And when Mars transit there, it can create sudden healings out of the blue. And this is a short transit only. It's for a month and a half, but it opens the opportunity for that. It doesn't mean, oh, Libras will suddenly heal, On another level, the 8th house is partners' resources. You can find out that your partner is spending more. But I think because Mars is doing good aspects to the 4th house, to planets in the 4th house, Saturn and Pluto, that can be like, together with partner, business, or personal, you can be making some investments, spending money, Mars in the 8th house of mutual resources, for property or for something, land or stability. This is a possibility that can happen. Or some expenses can happen in regards to in your family, with mutual resources with your partner, for home, for family, that you are sending some money of some sort, or to stabilize your life. Generally, the 4th house is that. So yes, they can be some expenses, but I think overall they have a strengthening influence. This can be very active time to put a lot of energy and efforts, which was what Mars is, into sorting out taxes, into sorting out insurances, inheritances. This is where there's a lot of dynamic energy going, a lot of efforts that are going. Maybe tax season is coming, and you'll feel that, Libra, particularly strongly this year. But I think you'll be very good at being able to get things done, to organize them. And because Mars is receiving 6 trines in March from Saturn and Pluto, you'll be able to be very productive with that, and with the finances of your family overall. And on another level, though, as I said, the 8th house can indicate certain power struggles about finances with a partner. But again, I think they'll have good resolution because of the good aspects Mars is doing. And even if there's some stressful situations or extra expenses that are coming, that is triggered especially by marriage or business partner or clients of some sort, it's, you have to be prepared for that and to tackle it. And thankfully, Mars in Taurus is not reckless and is receiving sextiles with Saturn. And Pluto, I think whatever crisis coming in regards to mutual resources, inheritances, insurances, money from others, support or taxes, they'll be handled very responsibly and without craziness, All right. And if you are, let's see, You are, and Venus for you, Libra, continues to be in your 11th house, sorry, in your 4th house. So good things and some release can happen in regards to family or home or responsibilities, which have been very strong and very powerful, very, very intense for you with Saturn in your 4th house. Venus is giving you some relief for the next couple of weeks still. Okay, if you're Scorpio, Mars is moving from your 6th house. And I can tell you, I can talk from experience, especially Scorpio rising to a lesser degree Sun or Moon. When Mars transit your 6th house, like it's been happening for the last month and a half, it's easier to get sick. It's easier to get more, some inflammatory things or accidents to happen. And my baby boy has been sick since Mars entered Aries, so from the start of January. So I can't wait for this to go out because he's been with temperature for a month, now a month and a bit. And Mars will enter into your 7th house, guys. If you're Scorpio, which means that, and kind of the focus goes from Mars being in the 6th house, maybe a lot of responsibilities and duty and things to fix at work or at home, and even focus on your health. Mars goes into your 7th house, which means that and Mars rules you. Don't forget, Scorpios, you are Mars. Wherever Mars goes, you go. Your whole focus is very much goes in that direction. So for you to go a lot into relationships, and you actively start pursue relationships, personal or business. You might start feeling motivated for a month and a half to approach others for collaborations, to go and speak to people, to just go talk with people for dates, or to start pushing your partner to do something, or to start pursuing one-to-one relationships of some sort. And you can see that your partner, it's almost like you're the motivator for your partners, but they also get active because Mars is in their sign. So they'll be active, the power, they'll be doing a lot of stuff, but it's because Mars is you're there with them, you're pushing them or goading them, It can create, because you become a bit more forceful with others, you're going to have less patience from others, and maybe a bit more passive aggressive with others, because Mars is in Taurus. But it's almost like, it's Mars is also making good aspects in March to planets in your 3rd house. So yes, there might be some dynamic conversations, there might be some fighting going on, some arguments with partners, but somehow it's constructive, somehow it leads to constructive projects or collaborations, or the 3rd house is your daily activities and skills and acquiring new skills that can lead to that, or constructive communications and informations, or administrative and 3rd house is commercial administrative activities that business collaborations can lead to. And if you're someone who is in business or personal business, the 7th house is your business and how you approach clients and how you go after deals, how you go after, it's very marketing house as well. It's a house of, you can feel a little bit too pushy. Mars is in your 7th house, but especially if you're in some competitive business, you can be like cutthroat now. You can force people in the corner and say, you're my way, or, you take this deal or no. You can be very dynamic with deals, so you can be very forceful somehow in regards to that, and you don't take bullshit from others. And believe me, there will be people that will be pressing your buttons for a month and a half. Now, maybe not all the time, but exactly when Mars is opposing your Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in Scorpio, if you're using the personal transit calendar, you'll see when this is exactly. So you'll be challenged, whether through clients, whether through your partner that is being pain in the ass, or that's being irritable, or that is trying to, as well, to press you somehow, or you are pressing them as others. It can go both ways because Mars is you. But you can be very productive as well, because Mars, when the martial energy, which stems from anger or enthusiasm, it's put into action, you can make miracles now in combination with another person, but somehow you'll be the more dominant, It's because Mars is your planet and you're leading there, but in collaboration with another person. It's a lot of attention to business deals, to contracts, to agreements, to crafting and forging agreements with the new ones, breakthroughs. But again, be careful not to be too forceful or to create some tensions and fights with others. And also you can do something together with a partner, with a physical exercise that you can start, something dynamic, undertake some project with personal business partners, all those things. If you're Sagittarius, Mars is going to move from your 5th house into your 6th house, guys. So you have to be a bit more careful now, Sagittarius, for a month and a half with your digestive system. The 6th house rules the intestines. So sometimes, and if there's some illness that usually starts from a bacteria or virus in the digestive system. And you're more susceptible for a month and a half to inflammatory conditions of some sort, to little accidents, cuts, bruises. 6th house rules those things when Mars transits there, to getting through some illness as well. But at the same time, Mars increases the ability of your body to fight with those, what we call viruses or what we call enemies, the 6th house. Mars is not actually, it's quite good to transit the 6th house because the person then decides and does not postpone anymore to fix problems. 6th house is the house of fixing problems and sees problems, logically identifies them and solves them. And you do this not in a ruthless way. You do this in a very practical way. Mars is making good aspects, to Saturn, to Pluto, in a very you can be like fixing things around. You can be like, this is what Mars likes to do. It's transit the 6th house. It can be about perfecting and putting efforts on your physical workout as well, because Mars in the 6th house likes to, a person becomes more focused on their health routines of some sort. And sometimes even health problems that appear suddenly. This is Mars, sudden onset of health problems. So worries that can force you into making some changes, what Mars likes, to make a breakthrough, to make a change, to introduce something new in regards to your daily habits, whether it's your brushing your teeth, your posture, whether it's your in regards to what foods you eat. And you'll be, if you want to start some transformational change to your diet, that can be a very good time, because Saturn and Pluto are both in your 2nd house of what you put in your mouth, and they're going to trine Mars in March in your 6th house. So to take action in regards to fix a problem, your health especially, and to have long lasting, to stick with that type of diet, to say, for example, to eliminate the food group, or to something that, to create some change, that not just like, a diet for 10 days. It's something that has a lasting influence. Also, Mars can make you quite busy when it goes into the 6th house with work duties. It can, like, a new projects can appear that you have to work on, that you have to, put a lot of energy into. You might even be given a lot more projects or something, or work responsibilities, but you have the energy and you go after them and you do them one by one. And maybe what you discover is that in the next 1 month and a half, a lot of things that you've been postponing, that have to be fixed or that have to be done, now you have the courage and the energy to go and tackle them when Mars transit the 6th house. Another thing you have to be careful, though, is like conflicts that happen, guys, with people at work, or that conflicts that can happen around your work, matters concerning your work, and conflicts that can happen in regards to, like, some power struggles, with employees. If you have someone working for you, that it's kind of a bit more willful, less, but also if you need to hire someone to do heavy physical work for you, like do something in the garden, like take for walks your kids or whatever it is, so fix something, a handyman that fixes problems, now can be a good time, because Mars is about physical 6th house, about hiring someone, or you can be doing something around as well. And also, this can be a good time to become proactive, to find a job. 6th house is job, employment, or employees. You become proactive to find employment or job or employees, and that's going to somehow positively influence your finances and resources, because it's making a trine to the planets, to Pluto and Saturn in your 2nd house. And you're so you can, for example, it can be a time where you're sending out a lot of CVs or doing proactively pursuing a new job, for example, and that can have a very stabilizing effect, positive effect on your finances. All right, if you are Capricorn, if you're, oh yes, and I forgot to say that Mercury is becoming visible for you, Sagittarius, in the fourth house. So over the next 2 weeks, you can manifest, so you can do something in regards to your family and home, plan, organize matters regarding family, home, property. It will go well. But after that, Mercury goes retrograde in your fourth house, then you'll have to change something about those plans. But some new plans are appearing, some new developments are appearing now over the next week. Maybe it started already concerning your place of living, property, family, home. That will take maybe till April for all of it to conclude. Some important conversation might start, some important new dynamics in the family, or plans regarding property, land, documents and stuff like that. That might take actually till April to settle down. All right, if you're Capricorn, Mars is entering your fifth house. Well, Mars likes being in the fifth house. And that's basically, it's going to, I find this position one that a person becomes more adventurous. And don't you need that a little bit, guys, Capricorns? Because you've been having it hard with Saturn being in your sign. Yes, you're naturally responsible and all, but you need sometimes to go and have some fun. And Mars in the fifth house of having fun gives you that dynamism, gives you the to proactively pursue more fun, entertainment, to proactively pursue dates as well. You can even go on some sex-infused dates or romance. You can pursue romance together with your partner, but you can, and I think it's actually affecting you really well, because Mars is going to be making in March trines to Pluto and Saturn in your sign, and that's going to strengthen even your health, or kind of uplift your spirit somehow, infuse you with a bit more excitability. So if you want to go have fun and do some things, you're going to notice more incentive towards such things. Plus, it's also a very good time to do physical exercise that is not to maintain your health, but physical exercise that you enjoy, especially like treks in nature in Taurus, Mars in Taurus. So that really are helping you in relieving some of the stress of what Saturn and Pluto are trying to make, this powerful new beginnings in your life and these transformations, and by bringing possibly a lot of duties and stuff like that. So yes, this month you'll have, and Venus for the next 2 weeks will also be in Taurus still, sorry, in Capricorn. So it's bringing you relief from some of the more difficult energies. But don't forget that if you are Tauruses, Capricorn, sorry, that are born in the last, I don't know, 18th, 19th of January, or in the last 2-3 degrees of Capricorn, Mars, Jupiter, the Mars Uranus conjunction will square you from the fourth house, so there can be some surprises still Friday, sudden surprises if you're born towards the end there. But otherwise, overall, for a month and a half, Mars moving into your fifth house, guys, more fun, more creativity. You'll put a lot more energy into some creative project, into some enjoyable sports or activity or hobby of some sort that energizes you, that stabilizes you. Also, if you have some new creative idea, you can start acting on it. When Mars enters your fifth house, you can get a lot of things done, but your children might be a bit more irritable. Your children might be more stressed or more difficult to handle. But again, I think they'll be just more energetic, because planets from your first house to the house of children are in March are going to be making good aspects. So somehow I think they'll be just more energetic. There'll be some new initiatives happening in their life that you'll be aligning with. All right, and if you're Aquarius, Mars is moving into your fourth house, Aquarius. Okay, So it puts a lot of dynamic energy into your personal life for a month and a half, into up to August, up to April. So there might be some changes that you're making at your home, maybe fixing something at your home. It's good to put a lot of energy into fixing or improving something in your home environment, property environment. Otherwise, it can manifest as fights with parents, fights with people in your home, with in your family overall, And I think that actually, whatever, even if there's such fights, they can be easily resolved by taking some proactive actions, because Mars from there will be making good aspects to Saturn, which rules you. So somehow, even if there are fights, you'll be able to find a productive resolution and solution, and to fix the problem with some decision, that is quite practical. And it's going to, but there'll be definitely something new that you're doing in regards to property. It can be time when someone wants to buy property, for example, to relocate or to move or to do fixes around. And because Mars is doing good aspects from there, I think it's, and especially with planets in the 12th house. 12th house means even to move to a different country, or also receiving some invisible help, in that direction from the ancestors, from the invisible spirits. It's almost like ancestors, invisible spirits can influence your family situation. Yes, some crisis can happen in some way, but because they want to take you into the right direction. Also, you can put a lot of energy into cars, into like initiate purchases of cars. And of course, Mars is naturally about spending, but something to do with property, with vehicles, with land, And because Mars receives a lot of good aspects, I think it's going to be positive, At moments it might be stressful, but sometimes we need that dynamic energy to push us. And just remember that if in the next 2 weeks, in the next 6 weeks, if you feel challenged by family and close people, it might be a reason for that, because some changes needed to be done there, some actions needed to be undertaken. If you are Mercury is becoming visible for you, Aquarius, in the 2nd house, and Mercury rules your 8th house. So it means that it might manifest over the next 2 weeks till the start of March. After that, it becomes invisible again. Some new financial ideas, some new financial plans that you can start working on. And these can be also connected to using the resources, whether intellectual resources or financial resources, and the help and support of another person, because Mercury rules also the 8th house. So you can start planning and organizing around that time. Or maybe you can start like some website that will bring you more money or something, because Mercury is information, 2nd house is resources and money, but in collaboration with ideas from another person of some sort. Or maybe your partner can manifest a bit more financial, moral, emotional support of some sort when Mercury becomes visible in your 2nd house, ruling the 8th. And all right, and if you're Pisces, I hope the recording for Pisces goes well. For some reason, in the last one video or something, it went garbled, and poor Pisces feel like, why is it always for us? Because you're psychic, guys. You don't need predictions. You just tune into your own higher self, and you're gonna see your own future. So who needs predictions? Maybe my prediction was crap. That's why it got garbled. All right, Pisces. What's happening for you is that Mars is moving into your 3rd house. It was still now in your 2nd. For some of you, it might have meant more expenses, some financial stresses that could have happened, or some activities in regards to initiating financial security. But now Mars is entering into your 3rd house, and it usually tends to become more busy time. A lot of short trips can happen. That continues till April, guys. So from the middle of February till April, for a month and a half, you're gonna find yourself that you have a lot more, especially if your ascendant is in Pisces. To a lesser degree, the moon and the sun too, but you can witness that a lot of short trips can happen, that a lot of communications get activated for you, actually. And those communications can be quite auspicious, especially in March, because Mars will make trines to planets in your to Saturn and Pluto in your 11th house of goals, acquaintances, social networks. So it's good time starting from the middle of February to initiate conversations with others. They'll be productive. They can lead to more gains, 11th house, to fulfillment of some long-term goals, wishes, and dreams of yours, to introduction to some benefactor. So make contacts, whether it's through the internet or something. Also, you can launch and initiate some business commercial activities connected to marketing, to advertising. Third house is that connected to reaching wider audience. So be proactive with that. Also, Mars can help you be much more initiative, and Mars loves being in the third house, because third house is to learn new skills. It's very difficult thing, learning new skills. I mean, it's called in ancient astrology the difficult place, the third house, because you need to really have the courage, the decisiveness, and Mars gives exactly that. They actually say if someone is born with Mars in the third house, they're very good entrepreneurs, because they have Mars in the third gives courage, and to act after your ideas, and Mars in the third house, naturally known as self-made wealth, basically wealth based on your skills. So Mars can help you initiate certain things in regards to that, to fulfilling your goals, or to creating self-made wealth, to take action into that. And not only that, but Mars can help you have the courage to start some new skills, to start some new, to acquire some new skills, and to go after it with dynamism and passion. And that's what is needed if you want to really acquire a good skill. Well, another thing that you have to be a bit more careful, though, is that there might be more competitive people around you now in your environment, whether it's neighbors, siblings. They can be a bit more explosive, a bit more willing to fight, collaborators of some sort. Third house is all kind of social contacts around us. So you can have around you much more motivated and competitive people. And I think actually this will motivate you to have the courage to go after things. I just had Mars transiting my third house, and I was getting super competitive by looking at other people. And this gave me a lot of renewed energy to start to first get those ideas, and to start some new ideas about self-made, for new projects that are commercial, business, and media projects, basically. And so you can start such new things when Mars is transiting a third house, and it's good for that. Also, you can embark on new studies or some short trips, trips that are under a month, but again, there can be some rivalry with siblings, with neighbors. There can be some fighting with workmates, teammates, that you have to be careful about. But I think it can be resolved well, because Mars is making good aspects eventually in March to the Saturn and Pluto. So with rational, practical consideration, with cool-headedness, these things will be sorted out. But it's good also to and working in a group. You can now find yourself in situations where you're working in a team with someone or in some group environment, but you will feel like you have to be the one that leads in that situation. You'll be the one putting the most energy and input there. So anyway, there can be a lot of work often when Mars goes into the third house. Your mind becomes quite mentally busy, quite overactive. It's good for business. Now, if you're in business of any sort, and you can get a lot done, a lot of administrative tasks. If you're someone who is in media and communications, you're very productive, bam, 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 you get things done. And Mars is making an aspect to your sixth house of work. So a lot of work, things you can get done. It just makes you a bit more argumentative, but maybe that's what it's needed sometimes to get shit done. All right, so that's what it is. And Pisces, yes, Mercury is becoming visible in your sign. So that can be, especially those Pisces that are, in the first 15 days of Pisces. So it means born from the 17th of February till around the 5th of March or something like that. Or more longer, the first 15 degrees. Well, the next 2 weeks, guys, can be, especially starting from this week, it's going to be very auspicious for you, because Mercury is becoming visible in your sign. So Pisces is very auspicious for you to start something mercurial. whether it's a website, whether it's a blog, whether it's a newsletter, whether it's a new book, whether it's some social media project, whether it's some business project, whether it's communicating, writing, or whether it's about programming something. And someone can help you as well. Someone, because Mercury rules your seventh house. Other people, so some collaborator can come and help you with that as well. And it can be very good if you have some important announcements to make, messages, if you have some business reports or business presentations to do. If you want to be heard and listened to, you will be. It's almost like, and also it's like Mercury is rising and becoming visible in your sign. New contacts can appear into your life. Actually, they come to you, they'll find you as well. Even though you also be proactive, Mars in your third house, to create such. And you might be asked to use a lot of your skills, Pisces, especially the first February and part of March, Pisces. You might be asked to use a lot of your, and to shine with your communication skills, with your business skills, or whatever skills you have, you know, and to be using those a lot. And then Mercury will go retrograde in your sign from March. So you're starting some new projects now, let's say. This is some new projects are being born, some new important connections even, and initiatives that you start, and possibly there's someone there in collaboration with, but they will have to be revised or extra efforts put or fixed in some way in March, and then you can start seeing the results in April. There we have. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you for staying through the whole presentation with me, and check out some of the promotions and some of the sales that I'm doing on my website. They're constantly going on some sale that is cheaper for a few days. Coming up to the 14th of February, you can check out also the love courses, that there will be some discounts there on some of them, very huge ones, like more than 70%. So anyway, thank you so much, and happy February 14th, Saint Valentine's Day. Wishing everyone a great, to find a Valentine, a sweet Valentine, and I'm wishing you to have some crazy dates in a positive way. No accidents, no electricity outages with the Mars, Mercury, Mars, Uranus, but something exciting, hot sex. I'm wishing you hot, experimentative sex on Valentine's Day, not arguments, please. So thank you, and I'll see you next week.